Okay, muchachos, there are 3 AR verbs in the preterite tense that we have a pronunciation problem with them. So they're verbs that end in kar, gar, and sar. So for example, we'll use marcar, which means to mark. In sports, it means to score, like to score a goal. We'll use llegar, that's to arrive. And then we use empezar, to start or to begin, okay? So those are just 3 examples of the verbs I'm talking about. Verbs that end in kar, gar, and sar, okay? Now, this only happens with the yo form. So make sure you make a note of that. Only the yo form. And again, we're still in the preterite, okay? So the rest of the forms are fine. They don't require a spelling change at all because there's no pronunciation issues, all right? So if we were to, let's do marcar, and just to show you, and then I won't do the whole forms, but, so let's do marcar in the preterite. So my stem would be mark and mark, right? We just take off everything except the AR. Mark, mark, mark. Okay, now let's do a different color so you can see the endings. So this, if we go back to our chart from the last video, then we'd add an A on there. We add an aste, an O, an amos, and an aron. Okay, this pronunciation problem is the same thing we run into, and it's the same issue we have in English, where we have the C. When the C is followed by an O or an A, it's the K sound, right? Like we have coat or cat, right? It's the K sound. If the C is followed by an I, like city, or C, it's usually a part of a word, like let's do the verb recede. It changes to an S, right? So if you look at these 4 forms, what comes after the C is an A, an O, an A, and an A. So we have marcaste, marcó, marcamos, marcaron, which matches this K sound in my infinitive, right? That's what I want, marcar. The problem is when you get here on the yo form, when you put an E, it changes this to the S sound. So it's marse, right? And we don't want that. We want it to be marque. So that's why, and remember, it's only the yo form that we have the issue with. So we're going to change this. We're going to do a little spelling change here. So instead of a C, we're going to put in a QU, and then we add our ending, okay? Now it sounds marque. So this is marque, marcaste, marcó, marcamos, marcaron. We have that K sound in every single form, okay? So anytime you have a CAR verb, and you're just going to do the yo form, you have to change it to a QU, okay? We'll do a little chart here so you can see that. All right, so if it's a CAR verb, just for the yo form, the ending will be QUEK. Okay? If it's gar, we run into the same problem. Well, this isn't, not all the time in English, but in Spanish, whenever you have G followed by an E, it makes the H sound. So to keep it the G sound, we're going to add a U in there. So GUE, QUE. Okay? And then sar is really not that big of a deal, but we want to keep it the S sound, and if you put an E, it sounds more like the Z sound. So we're gonna change that to a C. So it messed up the pronunciation here, but it actually fixes it down here. So I always tell my students, we have kar, gar, sar, ke, ge, se. And remember, this is only the yo form in the preterite. Okay? The other forms are fine. Don't mess with those. All right? Okay, so those are the spelling changes we have to make with our kar, gar, sar verbs in the preterite, just the yo form. Okay.